warm good morning to all the viewers of DD Sports as we bring to you the live action of Tokyo Olympics 2020. Yes, we are back in action in the world of sports, friends. I'm Sakshi Mandwal and we are looking forward to a good season of sports and of course a much awaited Olympics 2020 which are finally happening. The grand inauguration that we witnessed yesterday at the National Stadium of Japan in Tokyo. I'm joined over here by a very dear friend, Amit Arora. Good morning, Amit.
Good morning, Sakshi. Ala re ala, Olympics ala.
Yes, good to see you also in the studio, Amit.
बहुत-बहुत बधाई. खेलों के महाकुंभ का हम सभी को इंतजार रहता है. अमूमन ओलंपिक्स 4 साल बाद आते हैं, लेकिन टोक्यो 2020 का एक और साल इंतजार करना पड़ा है. लेकिन अच्छी बात ये रही कि 23 जुलाई यानी बीते कल रंगारंग ओपनिंग सेरेमनी हुई. फैंस को जरूर हम मिस करते हैं और पीछे ये जो स्टेडियम दिख रहा है, इसमें अब जब एक्शन होगा वो सारा एक्शन आप तक पहुंचाने के लिए दूरदर्शन बिल्कुल तैयार है. और साथ में साइन लैंग्वेज में आप देख रहे हैं हमारी सहयोगी रितु पांडा को भी हम गुड मॉर्निंग करेंगे. और साथ ही साक्षी, this is going to be one carnival of sports.
Of course, yes, Amit, and we are so excited, and I'm sure all the viewers and all the fans who had been waiting eagerly एक साल से, given the tough situations that we've all faced across the globe. I think वो समय gradually कहते हैं ना कि काले बादल छट रहे हैं, and now you can see the ray at the end of the tunnel, and that is all that we've been waiting for, because as we just mentioned, the grand ceremony, the opening ceremony that happened yesterday, it was not the regular ceremony, Amit, जैसे हर साल होती रही है. जब हमने 2016 के ओलंपिक्स में भी देखा था, फैंस मिसिंग थे, क्राउड मिसिंग था, लेकिन जोश और जज्बा एथलीट्स का एंड फ्रॉम अक्रॉस द ग्लोब लाखों दर्शक जो जुड़े कल स्क्रीन के ऊपर इनॉग्रेशन सेरेमनी को देखने के लिए, वो मिसिंग बिल्कुल नहीं था.
Absolutely, I think it was a very colorful ceremony and there were about 205 National Olympic Committee teams, and add to that the Indian Olympic refugee team as well. So total 206, all under one shed of Olympic Village, and that's what these games do. They unite everyone by emotion. Certainly, these are tough times and we are looking for solidarity. So first and foremost, we'll request you to ensure that you all follow COVID protocol. And we really pray for well-being of all our athletes, everyone in attendance in Tokyo, wherever they are, so that we can have safe and secure games.
Of course, yes, Amit, and as they say, that stronger together, united by emotion, which comes out and brings the true spirit of any sport. And what more can we ask for when this is a multi-event dynamic sport that we're looking on? And of course, a 14-day, 2-week extravaganza that kick-starts off from today, actually, officially we can say. And not just that, it concludes on the 8th of August. And if you were to look at the Indian contingent, it's a huge contingent of approximately 228 people, which includes 120 athletes. Amit, very quickly asking you as a true fan, and let's forget that we're professionals, किन events के अंदर आप देखने वाले हैं कि हमें medals मिलने की गुंजाइश है? उम्मीद कहाँ से है?
हर event में मिले. But practically speaking, I think the way Rajyavardhan Rathore got us silver in Athens, and since then look at Abhinav Bindra getting us the individual gold in shooting, right? Shooting for sure is my first pick, and we are sending 15 people, and you've got 8 men, 7 women. So we should have a handful of medals from shooting, from boxing. You've got MC Mary Kom, you can never discount her. And she was one of the flag bearers at the opening ceremony along with the hockey captain Manpreet Singh. Men's hockey team, I think they start their campaign today against New Zealand. And it's very heartening that this time in the Tokyo Olympics, we also have both men's and women's hockey team. So wish hockey team all the best as well.
Yes, of course. Here's wishing, in fact, the entire contingent of the Indian athletes all the very best for this year's Olympics. And what's also significant to notice is that Japan went ahead and did not change the year in which the Olympics were to be organized. Though these were happening, were supposed to happen last year, which is 2020, and as we all know that the pandemic struck the entire world and times were tough, but Japan has chosen to stick to Tokyo Olympics 2020, and this is the first time ever in the history of Olympics that Olympics have not been cancelled but rescheduled to a year later.
No, help me. If 10 years down the line, there is a quiz question to a young student of school. When were Tokyo Olympics held? What's the answer?
Okay, I'll go with the technicality of it and the actual reality that, okay, they happened in 2021 because they're happening in 2021, but they were named for 2020.
Right, so it's Tokyo 2020 happening in 2021, and we'll get you all of these confusions also crystallized so that we can get better understanding the same. Of course, badminton is also a sport we're expecting a medal from, and nothing less than gold from PV Sindhu. Remember the last appearance at Rio Games, India had 2 medals, courtesy PV Sindhu in badminton, silver, and we had Sakshi Malik, bronze in wrestling. So we certainly expect that some medals will come from wrestling. Vinesh Fogart is a strong contender there.
Yes.
Your pick in terms of which sport India probably could have a podium finish?
Shooting. That's going to be my first topmost pick, because that is the event that we've always targeted at and also looked at. And since we're talking about shooting, let's also have a look at the events on the day one that are going to be happening, which is, of course, today we are looking at the 10-meter air rifle women's qualification and finals round, in which we have Apurvi Chandela and Elavanil Valarivan. And then, of course, we also have 10-meter air pistol men's qualification and finals, in which we have Saurabh Chaudhary and Abhishek Verma. This is going to be one event to look out to, because shooting, as we see, we are expecting a lot of events also to just bring all our viewers and fans who have been glued into and also watching DD Sports and scheduling and lining themselves up for the events that are happening. Archery, by the way, started off yesterday, in which also major events took place in the initial rounds that we are looking at. Not a very good finish for the Indians, but if you were to look at the women's singles also in archery, we finished 9th position out there, which was an important one. And then we have, if you're looking at today, then we have the mixed team round of 8 elimination, in which India is up against Chinese Tepai, Amit, a very strong contender.
Well, certainly Deepika Kumari entered as one of the top runners, but in the ranking round, of course, she was ranked at number 9, but still she has the experience. This is Deepika Kumari's 3rd appearance at the Olympics, so we are counting on her experience, and don't even discount Tanu Das. He brings in experience too, so the combination could do well.
Yes, in fact, what's also interesting and intriguing over there is that it's a husband-wife combination that's coming together in the mixed team event today, where we of course have Deepika along with her hubby out there, Tanu Das. Lots to hope over there, but in contention, it's going to be a tough one. In hockey, if you look at, we have the men's hockey pool A, where India is up against New Zealand. While in women's hockey, we have the pool A rounds, where India is up against Netherlands. And Amit, just as you were telling all our viewers also, that this is also going to be one sport where we would look from Indians giving a good performance. Let's see if we can go off to the finals or not. But at least in the initial stages, we can look for a good performance right now.
Absolutely. Well, traditionally, India's done well in hockey. 8 gold medals. So we always have huge expectations from hockey. Watch out for that time, 6:30 in the morning as well. And continuing the schedule, marked the judo appearance as well. And it's very heartening that we've got the lone representative, Sushila Devi Lek Babam, who will be competing in women's 48 kilogram category.
Right. And yes, when we're looking at judo, this is going to be one sport which would be pretty interesting also to bring to the notice of all our viewers, that a few sports have been, in fact, included this time in Olympics. 3 or 4 new games have also been included, and judo has always been one of those sports, Amit, where Indians have pinned a lot of hopes, but surprisingly, or let's say dishearteningly, we've not had very good results. But as they say, we can always look for a good change happening. Moving on to the next one, which is boxing, lined up on day 1 today of Tokyo Olympics. From the Indian angle, if you have to look at it, we have the men's welter 64 to 69 kg category, in which we have the preliminaries round of 32 happening, where Vikas Krishnan is going to be up against SQM Okazawa. Now, boxing is again one sport where, Amit, you mentioned, we are hoping for medals to come from this one sport.
And thanks to MC Mary Com's bronze that we got in London, and before that in 2008 Beijing, don't forget Vijender Singh. And once you have medals in a particular sport, the expectations are only going to soar.
Of course, and also if you look at boxing, it's always been a sport where Indians have bought us pride globally and internationally also. We've been out there. So it's a sport where we can attach our emotions to and expect the medals. The next sport that you'll be witnessing today would be badminton, where we have men's singles group play stage group D. We of course have B. Sai Praneeth up against Zilberman Misha, and we have the men's doubles group play stage group A, where of course we have Swatika Saraj up against Chirag Shetty in the game of badminton.